Hi everyone. In this presentation, let us see what is let us see your first module of your syllabus, that is what is IoT and what are the network architectural and design. But in this presentation, let us see the first chapter of your module, that is what is IoT. Coming to the first module, you will have two parts. In first part, you will be studying like what is IoT, what are the goals, and how it is used, and all. In the second module, in the second part of this module, you will be studying about how the network and architectural design is built for IoT. Let us see the first half part of this module, that is what is IoT. We all know the definition of IoT is nothing but a transition, or it makes the objects to be connected and objects to be worked without any human intervention. So by seeing the definition of IoT, let us see what are the goals of IoT. Coming to the goals, the basic idea of IoT is to make the things connect which are unconnected, which means that the objects that are not currently joined to a computer network or some other network through an internet connection or through some other connection, that has to be connected and has to communicate with all the other objects which are connected to the network without any human intervention. So it will be communicating with the people and also with the other objects. That is the main aim or the goal of IoT. Coming to the definition, IoT is called as a technology where it will take a transition in which the devices allow us to sense and also control the physical world by making, as I've told in the last presentation itself, that it makes the object smarter and it connects those objects to a network through an intelligent way. So here it doesn't require any human brain, or any human interaction is not required. So when the objects and the machines are sensed by themselves, they can access the network remotely or virtually. So the tighter the interaction can give the computer physical world, and the computers could be enabled, and this allows the improvements in the areas like efficiency could be improved, accuracy could be improved, and the automation could be taken place, and also it enables in the advanced applications. So these are the major areas where the improvements can be taken place. Next, we have the genesis of IoT. How IoT came into existence. So, the IoT started at the in the year 2008 to 2009. In these years, things were connected and to the internet than the people in the world. As we all know, nowadays also we are more connected to the internet or to our Android phones than to the people. So, in this graph, it is showing that how the connectivity towards the internet has been, or the towards the devices or towards the objects has been increased as the year goes on. In 2003, only 0.08% were connected to the devices, and as in 2010 it raised to 1.84, in 2015 it raised to 3.47, and in 2020 it is raised to 6.58. And also coming to the connected devices, in 2003 only 500 millions were used. Coming to 2020 it has been raised to 50 billion. So there is a rapid change or rapid connection between the devices and the human. As the year goes on, the IoT technology has been conquered all over the world. Next, we have how IoT came into existence. That is the history of IoT. The scientists called Kevin Aston, who is called as the father of Internet of Things, who gave the name IoT while working for a Procter and Gamble in 1999. So he was the one who was able to explain a new idea related to linking the company's supply chain to the internet. So by this idea, he gave the name IoT in 1999. So Kevin Aston, who is called as the father of IoT. Kevin Aston, who is called as the father of IoT because he was the one who invented the IoT technology. He told that in 20th century computers were the brains, and nowadays because the computers are acting itself brain, because they are sensing the things by themselves without any human being or without the help of the human beings. Hence he is telling that computers are sensing themselves and they are acting as the brain using the technology called as IoT. Coming to this slide, let us see what are the phases of the IoT. Here the first phase is the connectivity. How the connectivity among the people was done in the olden days. It was done through the email or through web browsers or through the search engines. Next phase was the network economy, where the digitized business, where e-commerce things came into existence, like some online shoppings or digital supply chain collaboration, etc. Coming to the third phase, that is your immersive experience, where digital interactions, where social medias came into existence, mobility, cloud, and the videos, where you can exchange the messages or you can exchange your thoughts among the thoughts in the business or to some other person through an internet connection. Coming to the last phase, that is our Internet of Things, which is of digitizing the world by connecting them. Here the people, data, process, and also the things could be connected to each other, and they could communicate among themselves, and which makes the world more digitization. Next, let us see each phase in detail. Coming to the connectivity or digitized access. This phase, like it tells only how the people were connected to the mail or web search, web engine or search engine, so they can gain they can access the information easily. Coming to the business, that is your network economy or digitized business. Here how the e-commerce thing was done, how the supply chain enhancement was done with this collaboration, and how it made business to be in the more efficient way, and all that done in your second phase, that is called as network economy. Coming to your immersive experience, this is your third phase, that is also called as digitized interaction, where in this phase the interaction among the people through the social medias or through some videos or through some mobility was done through this. And there was also one more thing that is called as cloud, which was more important, where the things could be moved to your cloud. Coming to the last phase of your evolutionary phase, that is your Internet of Things. This is nothing but the digitized world, where we will be making our world more digitization. In this phase, adding connectivity to these objects and machines to the world around us enables new services or new experiences, where it will connect the things which are not connected, that is unconnected to the network. And it also provides some new services or some new type of experiences to the people who are using this. Let us see how each phase or each thing will give some new services or experiences. Coming to the first thing, that is your connectivity and digitized access. It was started in the year 1990s, and here it was only for the purpose of mailing, or for it was only for the purpose of your reputed organizations or some corporations or some business purposes. It was only for the luxurious the uses, like they can send their mail to the some other universities or some other organization, and they can communicate through mail, or some dial-up modems were used for the basic connectivity for the email connections. Then the saturated connection, like where the connectivity was a major challenge and speed was not a challenge, but the connectivity could be more challenged. Here the focus was now on leveraging connectivity for efficiency and profit. What does it means? That the inflection point marked the beginning of the second phase, that is called as the networked economy. What will be done in the second phase, that is your network economy or digitized business. With this network economy, e-commerce and digitally connected supply chains become the rage, and this caused one of the major disruptions over the past of 100 years. And it also makes like vendors and the suppliers become more closely, which they can communicate easily and they can produce according to the needs of the consumer. So because of this thing, the online shoppings and online shoppings, the e-commerce businesses, they all gain more experience and they grow rapidly. The victims of this shift were traditionally brick and mortar retailers. The economy itself became more digitally intertwined as suppliers, vendors, and the consumers all become more directly connected. As we all know, consumer will tell what are the requirements for his vendors. Vendor will say that these are the requirements that are required by the consumer to his supplier. So the supplier will build or give the service based on the requirements of the consumer. So the company or the e-commerce business will have an efficient growth because the supplier are supplying the products or the services based on the user requirement. So next we have the in the third phase, we have immersive experiences, that is your digitized interaction. In this, the social media came into existence, where along with the social media, we have mobility, collaboration, and also the mobility on variety of devices. Here, the connectivity is not it has become pervasive, where it uses n number of platforms like mobile phones, laptops, etc. Pervasive connectivity, like it enables the communication and collaboration along with the social medias, along with n number of challenges, like we can text a message through some other, as we have seen n number of apps are there in order to communicate with some other. So we can first the mail was used, so we can chat via email, or we can text, or we can send a video, or we can send a voice, that is called as your audio. So there are n number of ways in order to communicate to some other person. Here person to person communication become more digitized. In olden days, if we need to communicate, we have to send a letter by post. So if I need to send some message now, the time was taken in order to deliver the same message was more. So in order to overcome this, technology has provided more and more services. So we are now connected to each and everyone or each and every object. So we are becoming more digitized. Let us see the last phase of our evolution phases, that is the Internet of Things, where Internet of Things are just the starting stage where we are now. So 99% of things are still not connected. Let us see what could be done. Machines and objects in the space could be connected along with the objects, along with the human. In this space, each and everything could be connected along with the human being to a network through an internet service. So coming to the business perspective, business and society have already started in experiencing this huge increase in data and knowledge. In turn, this is now leading to previously unrecognized insights along with the increasing automation. It is also increasing the automation and new process efficiencies. IoT is poised to change our world in new and exciting ways. It is changing our world to a new way. We are facing new things and new services, and it is like exciting things are done by this IoT. So this is your last phase or the fourth phase of your internet. Let us see what is IoT and what is digitization or IoT and digitization. IoT and digitizations are the terms that are often used interchangeably, but they are always the different to be aware of. At the high level, IoT focuses on things which are connected, such as objects and machines, to a computer network through an internet service. But IoT is a well understood term and used across the industry as a whole. On the other hand, let us see what is digitization means. Digitization means where different things to different people, but which connects different things to different people, but generally encompasses the connection of things with the data they generate and the business insight that results. Here, instead of connecting towards connectivity thing, more uh, it will be more it will be more concentrating on the data that are generated and on the business purpose, that is your digitization. For example, if you are in a shopping mall, if let us say we have went for a shopping mall in order to shop, and where there will be some Wi-Fi location in the shopping mall, where that Wi-Fi location will be tracking has been deployed, and the things are the Wi-Fi devices, where Wi-Fi location tracking is simply the capability of knowing where the consumer is in the retailer, in the complete mall, and what he is using through his smartphone connection to the retailer's Wi-Fi network. While the value of connecting to the Wi-Fi devices or things to the internet is obvious and appreciated by the shoppers, tracking what are the real-time location of Wi-Fi client so they can provide better products and better advertisement regarding those things. So digitization is nothing but we can say that it in the simplest form is that it is the conversion of information into a digital format. This is the complete definition of the simple definition of the digitization. Let us see how digitization is taking place. Coming to the photography industry has been more digitized. Pretty much everyone has digital cameras in olden days, either standalone devices or built into their mobile phones. Almost no one buys film or takes like retail to get it developed. The digitization of photography has completely changed our experience when it comes to capturing images. Coming to the second example here, In the olden days, when we need to see some movies or some videos, we have to go to the DVD or some videotape stores, and we have to buy those DVDs. But now the digitization, how it has been changed, this method as like it does provide just a link where by through that link we can download the files or download the video, or we can purchase the movie and we can watch the movie. Coming to the transportation, this is the third. Instead of using the taxis or the vehicles in the olden days, it has changed into a business where like taxis are converted into Ola, Uber, Lyft, and these are the digital technologies where it allows the people to ride a ride using a mobile phone app, where this app identifies the car and the driver, and also it tells us about the fare, what fare has to be given to the driver for the particular distance, and that and all will be done through your app. So this digitization is a major disruptive force to the companies which provides a traditional taxi services. Coming to the last digitization example, that is your home automation, where things and data, business process, and makes the network connected more relevant, valuable. Here, the popular products such as Nest with Nest sensor determine how the climate settings, and also tie in another smart objects such as smoke alarms, video cameras, temperature, humidity, etc. could be connected. In the past, these devices and the functions which performs were managed and controlled separately, and there were no cloud provided. Nowadays the clouds are used where we can store the data easily. So using some of the sensors, we can gain the value of smoke, video, various like third party awareness, and these could be alarm, or these sensor could alarm the user based on the particular thing what is happening in the home. So this is how home automation could be done. Next topic in this module is your IoT impact. How IoT has become more impact on the nowadays technology. About 14 billion, or just this 0.06% of things are just connected as now of today. Still there are 99% things has to be connected. Coming to the Cisco system, which predicts that in 20 by 2020 the number of as we have already reached 50 billion of devices, or 50 billions of things have been connected to the network, and it provides like it will provide more efficiency, and also it saves us the cost, and it leads us to the profit way. So IoT will be the fundamental shift where the people and the business interact with their surroundings. Managing and monitoring the smart objects using this real-time connectivity enables a new level of data, or it may lead us to take new decision, or it may lead us to gain a new way of thinking. So it may lead us to gain ideas for building new things. So this in return results in the optimization of a system and processes which delivers a new service for both saving time and also for saving the people and business, which improves the business through some profit, or it saves the business time through in an effective manner. So let us see how the use, what is the use of what is the use of connecting the roadways? Why it is necessary? As since it is not connected only, there are n number of accidents are taking place. So if we connect to the internet, is it an efficient way? Let us see whether it is an efficient way or not. So for example, coming to the connected roadways, we have Google's self-driving car. Coming to this self-driving car, as the name suggests, It is a car which is of driverless, because the name itself suggests it is self-driving car. Where it is connected roadway is nothing but it is a term which is associated with the both the driver and the driverless car has to be communicated regularly. IoT is going to allow a self-driving vehicle to better interact with the transportation system and also around the through the bidirectional data exchange. Now, self-driving vehicles need also reliable communication and the data from other transport-related sensors to reach their full potential. Connected roadway is the term where it has to be associated with both the driver-oriented car and the driverless oriented car. So in this figure, you can see the driverless Google or the Google self-driving car. Here, the sensors which are basic are already inserted into the car in order to the sensor could monitor like the pressure of the oil, tire pressure in the tire, how the air is and how the level of the air is in there, then the temperature and other condition, what and all the conditions which are required in order to move a car are monitored by the sensors which are inbuilt into the car. From behind the steering wheel, the driver can access these data while also controlling the car using the equipment such as the steering wheel, pedals, and so on. Why we need these sensors is in order to gain the information and also to have the control over this thing. The driver must understand how to handle and how to take the critical decisions or while concentrating on driving safely. So the Internet of Things is replicating these concepts on a much larger scale. Today we are seeing automobiles products such as sensors to measure everything from fuel consumptions to locations and to the entertainment to our families watching or it is going to have enjoy their ride. So coming to the challenges which are faced by the connected roadways are the safety. Is this safety, as I've told, being a driver in the car, it is more challenging thing. Without any accident, he has to be safe. So now we are speaking like a driverless car or self-driving car, which will be more safety when compared to that thing. So IoT has enabled a connected vehicle technology which will be empower the drivers with the tools they need to be anticipate potential crashes, and they also significantly reduces of number of lives lost each year. So according to the IoT technology, it will be regulating or it will be reducing the loss of lives per year. How can it would be? Because the sensors will be gaining the real time values, so it will be moving in a safer way. So safety is a major challenge, but IoT is providing safety much better way when compared to the driver oriented car. Coming to the mobility, how mobility could be done using this connected roadways. As we all know, billions cars will be transporting the road worldwide. Connecting this vehicle mobility application will be like it will be in a system operator where drivers will be given more information so they can take their decisions on their own. In addition, the communication between these has become mass transit. Emergency response to the vehicle and traffic management helps in optimizing the how to take the other route or how to reduce the travel delays and what is the better way to move to some other particular place or what is the shortest distance could be calculated easily based on the sensor values. The last one is the environment. If we make use of these things, can we reduce the carbon dioxide level in the environment, or it could be like will it be the social environmental friendly or eco-friendly? Yes, it will be an eco-friendly which reduces the carbon dioxide emission by 16.2 million metric tons by reducing the private vehicle miles. This was according to the American Public Transportation Association. They have told that the carbon dioxide will be reduced by 16.2 million metric tons. So this connected vehicle environmental application is a Go Green application which helps us to reduce the carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere, and it will be an eco-friendly application. Now let us see how connected roadways IoT connected roadways. In this there is an actually an concept called as intersection movement assist, that is called as IMA. This is an app which application wants a driver or triggers the appropriate response in a self-driving car where it is not safe to enter an intersection due to a high probability of a collision. It will tell or it will guide a driver which is not safe in order to move in this way or take an intersection here. It wants the driver not to enter that. If it is not safe, it will be telling the driver not to move. Perhaps because another car has run a stop sign or strayed into a wrong lane. So, thanks to the communication system between the vehicles and the infrastructure, which such scenario can be handled quickly and safely. IMA, that is your intersection movement assist, is one of many possible roadway solutions that emerge when we start to integrate IoT with both traditional and self-driving vehicles. With automated vehicle tracking, a vehicle's location is used for notification of arrival times. In this connected car, the cargo management provides a precise positioning of cargo as it is en route so that the notification alerts can be sent to a dispatcher and routes can be optimized for congestion and weather. Road weather communication uses sensors and data from satellites, roads, bridges to warn vehicles in order to avoid the dangerous conditions. Car continues to be become more connected and capable of generating continuous data streams related to location, performance, and the driver behavior and much more. The data generation potential of a single car is staggering. With this automated vehicle tracking, we have a vehicle's location could be notified for the arrival time. As when we use the applications like transportation applications like Ola or Uber, we will be getting notified before the driver has reached to us. Like the driver will be arriving by 5 minutes or by 10 minutes as the notification based on the vehicle's location, which prevents the theft prevention, or it could be an highway assistance. See here what and all the sensors that are connected has been shown here. This is your wireless router for mapping dynamics and safety purpose, and the sensors what and all the sensors what should be connected are connected here. And here your urban connectivity which reduces the congestion. See, it provides safety and also provides the efficiency. Here it also creates another area where connected roadways are undergoing massive dispersion and in how the data generated by a car will be used by the third party. For example, here the tire company can collect the data related to use and durability of their product in a range of environment in the real time. As we all know, like for in this example, the tire company which can gain the information about their product. Coming to the GPS or the map thing, where it is an dynamic routing in order to avoid accidents or in order to avoid traffics or other hazards, we may use GPS thing in order to have the real time location. And also we have internet based entertainment can be personalized and optimized on our road trips, where data could be used for the advertisement. Here IoT data broker, it is a new technology where it imagines the many things of types of data generated by an automobile and the plethora of different parties which are interested in the data, that is called as your internet data broker. Coming to this fiber optic sensing, able to record how many cars are passing in this road and what is the speed of those cars and what are the type of the transportation they are taking. These are the things which are concerned with your connected road. Let us see what is the thing or what are like how the factory is connected with the IoT. Coming to this, the operations which are composed on plant floors, front offices and supplier operating in independent silos. Consequently, these could be connected to an internet, and the challenges which are faced by the environmental, the factory environmental are accelerating a new product and services in order to meet a customer requirement. It is like facing a challenge, and how to increase the product while decreasing the cost, and mitigating unplanned downtime, securing factories from other cyber threats by hacking. How can we the factory could be secure, and how the cabling or wiring should be decreased, or the wiring cost should be less. How could be done, and improving the like how can I improve the worker productivity, and how can I provide the safety for the worker. These are the major challenges or the particular problems which are faced by the factories now. In order to overcome those, for example, in the iron ore melting process, control room will be far off from the unit, resulting in the multiple trips and controlling becomes difficult. Here, the smelting facility extracts metals from their ore. The facility uses both heat and chemicals to decompose the ore, leaving behind the base metal. This is a multi-stage process, and the data and controls are all accessed via various control rooms. So operators must go to a control room that is often hundreds of meters far from the data and the production changes. So with IoT, how can be a connected factory solution? How can a factory gains a solution for this problem? It's true. Machine to people connections are implemented to bring a sensor data directly to the operator onto the floor via mobile devices. Instead of going 100 meters far from the room to the machine, if we make use of sensors, it could be an easy way to have the communication. With IoT and the connected factory, we can connect the machines to the people, and the data could be directly communicated to the devices. And here we may use real-time location system, that is RTLS. It is utilizes small and easily deployed Wi-Fi RFID tags which are attached to an material virtually, and it also provides the current status and also the real-time location of the particular object which is attached to it. The tags of RFID enables a facility to track the production as it happens. Here, IoT sensors allows the components and materials on an assembly line to talk to the network. The four industrial revolutions are how it is like. The first one is Industry 1.0, Industry 2.0, Industry 3.0 and Industry 4.0. This is how the industrial revolution has taken place. Coming to, let us see what is Industry 1.0. It was like mechanical assistance later 18th century, before 18th century. Here the machines were powered, the machines were switched on by the water and steam as a part of the production facility. In Industry 2.0, the electricity came into existence. Division of labor and electricity led to mass production. And in the third, that is Industry 3.0, here automation came into existence. But in Industry 4, that is today, we are using IoT level where sensors are used in order to have the interconnectivity and the integration. Next, let us see how the IoT is used in buildings. The functions of a building is to provide a work environment which keeps the workers comfortable, efficient and safe. Work areas need to be well lit and kept at a comfortable temperature to keep workers safe. The fire alarm suspension system needs to be carefully managed. As to the door and physical security alarm has to be given. Similarly, sensors are often used to control the heating, ventilation and air conditioning systems. Temperature sensors are spread throughout the building and are used to influence the building management systems control of airflow into a room. Another interesting aspect of smart building is taken which makes easier and cheaper to manage. Lights are off and on automatically when no one is there. Instead of switching on and off physically, we can go for an automatic thing. Here, lights are on or off based on the like light mode. If it is too dark, the light could be on, or if someone enters into a room, light could be on. When he goes out of the room, light could be. Temperature sensor could be like it would be placed in all over the building as I have told in the previous slide itself. And de facto communication protocol for building this automation, it is called as a BACnet, that is your building automation and control network. See how it could be done. Convergence of building technologies in the IP. Like it could be like lighting, backnet, ventilation, sensing, PBX. This is your IP, telephony, cameras, building management system, IP, low voltage, and all the data could be connected to your analytics. That is your cloud management and analytics. This is your data cable. All are connected to your data cable and the data is passed into your cloud, where and all the things could be used. The lighting purpose, sensors, building automation, HVAC, IP video surveillance camera, Wi-Fi access points. Here and all the sensor could be used for lighting and like temperature sensing. And we have the network infrastructure. Then in order to control all these sensors, we have control system, and the application is like smart spaces, lightning controlling the energy management through the APIs. Coming to this example, it is like where the LED sensor is connected onto the roof of the building, where it will be sensing based on the instruction. If a person enters to the room, the light should be on, or if the surrounding is becoming more darker, the light should be on. Based on these two conditions, the light could be on or off automatically. So this is an example for the home automation or light automation system. For example, let us see how the smart creature could be used. IoT also provides the ability to connect living things to the internet. Not only the smart objects or the things to be connected to the internet, it could also, the living things also could be connected to the internet. Sensor can be placed on the animals and even on the insects just as easily as on machines, and the benefits can be just as the same as of the machines. One of the most well-known application of this IoT with the animals focuses on what is often referred as the connected cow. For example, in the Dutch company developed a sensor that is placed into a cow's ear. This sensor monitors various health aspects of the cow and also the location, and transmits the data wirelessly for analysis by the farmer. The sensor was giving the complete information about its health aspects to the farmer. So if there is any change in the health aspects, the farmer can take care of its cow. So IoT helps us in order to save a living thing. The data from each of these sensors is approximately 200 MB per year, and you obviously need a network infrastructure in order to have the connection among the sensors and to store the information. In order to store the information, we may use the cloud. Another application of this IoT to organism involves the placement of sensor on roaches. While the topic of roaches is a little unsettling to many flocks, the potential benefits of this roaches could be make a life-saving difference in disaster situation. Researchers at North Korea State University are working with hissing cockroaches in the hopes of helping emergency personnel survivors after a disaster. For example, you are seeing here it is a cockroach and a number of sensors are embedded on it. The electronic backpack attaches on a roach. This backpack communication with the roach through parts of its body. Low-level electrical pulses to an antenna on one side makes the roach turn to the opposite side because it believes it is encountering an obstacle. If something is there while it is moving, it will stop. So this is an example. The electronic backpack uses wireless communication to a controller and can be driven remotely. So it is using wireless sensors. So it is a wireless network, that is your WSN. The roaches are naturally designed to efficiently move around objects in confined spaces. The technology has also been tested to keep the roaches in the disaster area. It is similar to the invisible fencing that is often used to keep dogs in the yard. Coming to the convergence of IT and OT, what are the comparisons between like operational technology and the informational technology? Coming to the differences, we have some certain criterions like operational focuses, priorities, types, security, implication, failure, network upgrades, and the security vulnerability. Let us see what and all the difference among the operational technology and the information technology. Coming to the first criteria, that is of your operational focus, which keeps the business operating for 22 bar 7, means there is no rest for the network, it will be keep on working. In the enterprise, it manages the computer data and also it employ the communication system in a secure way. Coming to the priorities, it will provide availability, integrity, and the security. The same will be provided by your enterprise IT network. Coming to the types of data, what and all it could be managed. Yes, it could monitor the data, it could control the data, and it could supervise the data. Coming to the IT network, not only monitoring, controlling, and supervising the data, it could also be of voice, video, transactional, and the bulk data could be used. Coming to the security purpose, Here the controlled physical devices, physical access to the device, only controlled physical access, not the automation. Here the devices and the users are authenticated to the network. Here in your operational technology, the authentication is not provided, but in your informational technology, the authentication is provided. Coming to the other differences, you have implication failure. Here, if there is any failure in your operational technology, it will directly impact on your business. In enterprise IT network, it could be like only can be business impact depending on the industry, but workarounds may be possible. Coming to the network upgrades or software and the hardware upgrades, only during operational maintenance windows. If there is any operational maintenance is going on, you have to take care. And in your IT often requires an outage window when workers are not on site, like they could be mitigated. Coming to your security vulnerability, when coming to the point of your security, it provides low security because it is our ISO networks are isolated in your operational technology. Coming to your informational technology, the security provided is high because the network is connected to the internet and which gives you more protection. Coming to the challenges, let us see what are the challenges that are faced by the IoT. Coming to the challenges, we have a number of challenges like scalability, security, privacy, interoperability, big data and analytics. Coming to the scalability, like connecting to the network in a smaller thing could be more easier than connecting to the like thousands meter. It would be more challengeable. So in order, for example, if there is an electrical company, if it is using for like IPv6, where it is like connecting to the electrical facility for a smaller area is more convenient rather than if it is increased by thousandfold, it becomes a major challenge. Coming to the security purpose, as the things are connected to each other, the people also be connected to those things, so it becomes a complex system and it becomes a more challenging for the IoT technology. As the things are more connected, it will be an easy way or it will be like an opportunity for the cyber hacker or the hacker in order to hack the system and gain the data of the particular system or of the particular person. So the third thing is your privacy. Here in the privacy part, we will be sharing some of the important data of a particular thing or ourselves. We will be sharing the data which is more private and that will be stored on your cloud. So gathering those data and in order to manage those data, it is an important to provide a particular privacy or security for those data is a major challenge. For example, health information of a person or shopping patterns. Like shopping patterns, if it is hacked by the competitor of other company, then the company which is leading could be easily demolished. Coming to the health information, if one person who is not a doctor or the caretaker, if he gets the data of the particular patient and he provides some other medicine, it could lead to a death of a human being. So there should be a control over the data, what we share among and what we share with them. Coming to the last challenge, that is your interoperability. Here, sorry, big data. We have one more challenge, that is your big data. Coming to the data, data is nothing but n number of data has been collected or connected through the network and that has to be handled. Here where data will provide us the information, it could be critical or it could be some useful or it could be some light information, but it has to be processed in an efficient manner. Challenge is how in this particular field is how can we evaluate that n number of data which are arriving from different sources and how could that data be stored, and how could be it regulated in a regular manner, because the data is of real time. Coming to the interoperability, IoT and its IoT is like a nascent technology which provides or which contains various protocols and the architectures. So some of these protocols and architectures are on the proprietary elements, and other which are open, which are restricted for some particular things and which are open source. So IoT standards are helping in order to minimize this problem, but there are often various protocols and implementations which are available for IoT networks. For example, the prominent protocols and architecture especially open, and they are standard based upon the implementation. So in this presentation, we have seen like what is IoT and what are the goals of the IoT, where and all the IoT technology can be used, and what are the challenges, what are the impact of IoT has been studied in this presentation. So this completes your first chapter of your first module. So let us continue in next video the next chapter of your first module. Thank you. Thank you.